It's not like a really bad movie, but it's a bad movie. There are people out there who just don't want to go see this movie and aren't going to, and I completely understand why. Marvel has not been doing good recently, and why trust them going to go see this movie? I went with my younger brother and my girlfriend hoping to have some fun with them, and yeah, I did have fun with them. It wasn't because of this movie. Hardly anything in this movie is fun. Story and pacing is dull and boring. It had me yawn and be really tired, and then sometimes even give me a headache because there was stuff that was just jumping out of the blue. For example, there's this one singing part of the movie where people just start singing, and I get why they're singing. It's just so pointless and so dumb, and it was a stupid idea someone had, and they decided to keep it in the movie. Another stupid thing is the whole cat thing, the flirkins or whatever they're called. I guess it was a little cool having it in the first movie, but this movie, they just way overdid it. Another really dumb and stupid thing is whatever the hell they did to Nick Fury. It's not consistent from the last time we saw Nick Fury in Secret Invasion. Hell, it's not even consistent with any Nick Fury we've ever seen, not even from the first Captain Marvel movie. And I'm telling you now, Marvel, I do not want to see this Nick Fury show up in Avengers. Like, if this Nick Fury is the only Nick Fury we have going forward, don't include him in the next Avengers movie. I get it. Nick Fury is like a staple to the Avengers and all that other stuff. Don't include him. Make this the last Nick Fury we ever see, because I never want to see a Nick Fury like this. There was one cool thing with Nick Fury. He, like, sat down and someone tossed him a gun and he shot the gun and, you know, he twisted it and everything. That was cool, but everything else that came out of Nick Fury's mouth was complete dog water. This was a complete waste of Samuel L. Jackson and his acting ability and what he can bring as a supporting character in this movie, and I don't ever want to see that stuff again. As for the leads, Ms. Marvel is the only highlight in this entire thing, and I'm talking about Kamala Khan, Aman Vellani. She deserves her own movie. I get it. Marvel might do a season 2 with her instead of a movie. I completely understand that, but she deserves a movie. It would be really nice to go to the movie theater and seeing her and a supporting cast around her, similar to her show. But I understand if Marvel just wants to stick her on Disney Plus and keep her there, but still, she deserves her own movie. If not her own movie, at least have her appear more in stuff going forward, or give her a team movie to join later on. As for Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson, and Monica Rambeau, they were completely awful in this movie. There were maybe a highlight or two, maybe a fight scene where they looked pretty cool and stuff like that, but in terms of character development, how they were approached, even the acting, I have questions about. None of the acting in this movie was necessarily bad. It's just, I just have certain questions on why actors acted the way that they did in certain scenes. And the whole reason why Monica and Cap Marvel have any sort of tension in the film, we know why they have tension, and they clearly show and literally tell the audience why they have tension, but then it just disappears. Like, they don't have that problem. That obstacle between them just disappears. And you don't know when it disappears, because I thought they were going to have that tension throughout the film, and they still didn't have it. Like, clearly they made up at one point, but like, was it that quick to get over the years and years of tension that they had with each other? I think it's a dumb idea to make Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel have any tension to begin with, but the tension that they did have just disappears after hanging out with each other for less than a day. Again, really dumb, really stupid, and doesn't really make any sense to me. The villain is awful as always in Marvel movies, but if you have good enough heroes, it should make up for a bad villain. Well, you only had one good hero, and even Kamala Khan wasn't enough to make this movie good. It was still a bad movie. Now, the mid-credit scene is good, and people don't count mid-credit scenes as part of the movie, but I am going to because it's all bundled under one film. The mid-credit scene is a good mid-credit scene. People are going to complain about the CGI of a certain character in the mid-credit scene. I thought the CGI of that character in the mid-credit scene, as well as the CGI in the rest of the film, I thought the CGI was just fine. I personally don't have a problem with CGI. I can tell a lot of hard work went into it. A lot of visual effects artists put a lot of time into that, down to the prop making, to the camera work, to the fight choreography, even the directing and how certain people might have produced the film, and maybe even Kevin Feige himself. I appreciate the hard work going into it. I'm happy that people were able to put somewhat of their vision, no matter how small or how major it is, into this film and put it out to the public. I guarantee there was reshoots that changed a lot of this film. I think I read up somewhere that this movie did kind of have an overhaul. A lot of things were changed or whatever, but it was kind of bundled complete, kinda. Anyone who says this movie came out like half complete is completely lying. It looks complete, but I just don't know how they got to this point. Again, the story and the pacing is boring and bland, and it doesn't flow flow well together. You're pretty much going to point A to point B to point A to point B, and you know where this movie's leading to right when it starts, right when you start to find out who the villain is and what their motives is. And even for the villain, I like the motives they had, it just wasn't executed well. And I feel like the story could have been better, but there was going to have to be some major tweaking of the story. So I don't know if that goes on the scriptwriter, the original person who had the story idea and the notes of that, or even if it goes all on Kevin Feige because he ended up approving of all of this before it even got started. But there should be some sort of accountability, and I think that there is. I think there is a bright side to the MCU that they can eventually reach. I think we're just sort of waiting. We're getting all the sequels out of the way. We got the Thor sequel that wasn't that good. We got the Ant-Man sequel that wasn't that good. We got the Captain Marvel sequel that's also really not that good. But there is a brighter side to come, and hopefully that starts with the next film being either Deadpool 3 or the Captain America film, but we'll just have to see when that time comes. I don't know what the Marvels, the little team up of the 3 women in this movie, I don't know what their theme song is or what music's playing when they're fighting or banding together, but it does sound very similar to like the Avengers theme, and I kinda like it. So if they continue to use that for the Captain Marvel theme, or anytime Kamala Khan teams up with someone, or if it's for Monica Rambeau, I would be fine with that. I think Marvel needs to reuse some of their theme songs. They don't reuse them enough. It's always about changing it and all the other stuff. I think the Avengers score was reused a lot, but that's because of the Avengers team-up movies, and that's good. I just would like a consistent, like, orchestra theme song being used. Other than that, though, I have nothing else to talk about in terms of this movie. The things that really annoy me and that I can't get out of my head is the singing part of the movie, which you'll know it if you see it. It's super dumb. And the cats were way overused in this movie. Like, they really need to tone that down. Like, it was kind of cool and mysterious in the first film, and then in the second movie, it's still mysterious, but it's just annoyingly mysterious. Like, okay, how did this happen? And then you can kind of piece together why it happened, but then you're just like, okay, this was literally just used to get people's butts in seats because they want to see a bunch of kittens run around a spaceship. And oh my god, Nick Fury, that's an annoying thing too. I don't know what's more annoying, the singing part, how bad Nick Fury was, or the cat thing. All 3 of those completely ruined the movie. And we're not even talking about the 2 main characters, Monica and Captain Marvel, how bad they were. The villain, how bad the villain was. And then the story in general. So anyways, just leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Go ahead and talk about spoilers down below. I'm sure people are going to watch this and expect no spoilers. I'll probably put no spoilers in the title. But just a warning, people are going to talk about spoilers down below. And yeah, that's my review of the Marvels. Let's hope for brighter days in the MCU going forward. All right, see you guys later.